As the candidates make their way up here to the stage, I want to remind some people that you still have time to get questions in. They're still looking for more questions, so feel free to fill some of those forms out. And now I would like to introduce to you your moderator tonight. He's the Executive Director of the IAEA and former Iowa House Speaker from 1999 to 2002. Please welcome Brent Segrist.
We'll lower this as the candidates get seated. A couple of things. First off, let me take this opportunity to welcome you to Iowa Western Community Campus. I'm on the Board of Trustees here. We're very proud of the college and very proud of the Culinary Arts program, which you all ate in tonight. And if you really would like to feel old, the school library is upstairs and there's not one book in it. It's all online, so that should make you feel a little bit older. Anyway, we appreciate the candidates coming here. As somebody who has sat in the same seats that they have, I know exactly how difficult it is for them to be moving around the district, and they're very tired, and the end is near. What we've chosen to do tonight is to ask for questions from the audience. They will have 90 seconds to respond, and somewhere back there is flashing lights, which will let you know when I think it's going to come on yellow with 10 seconds left or something like that, and might let you go a few seconds over, but we may interrupt you. The questions that have been submitted, I've gone through them. We have some good questions, and so we'll be asking those, and then if your name is on here, we will allow you, as the person who asked the question, when they're done answering once, if you have a follow-up question. And if it's a got you thing, I may tell you to sit down and be quiet, but if it's something pertinent to the question you originally asked, we'll let you have a minute. Each one of the candidates have a minute. So we'll run through as many questions as we can. We will be done at 9:30. So we will be done at that time. I think we already had closing comments. So if we have time, depending on where the questions is, we may give you some closing comments at the end. We'll just wait and kind of see where we're at. So I'll start this way with the first question, starting with Joe, and then he can answer, and on down. The next question will go to Matt, and on down the line. So with that, we have the first question here. This is from Al Riggenberg. How would you propose that Congress act to roll back the growth in regulations and the number of regulations at the federal level?
Number of regulations at the federal level. They're out of control. It's stymied businesses. See, I'm a small business owner and I can understand all those regulations. From the state, the county, the city, the federal that's mandated. You have to be an outspoken critic of them. And you have to go after the people. You have to go after the people that are passing these laws. And I'm different from a lot of these other folks here. You primary every Democrat, you primary every Republican, and you get them out of office until they come on board like I think. That's how you do it. Thank you.
Same question. Yeah, same question on that.
All right, very good. Well, I think we need to look at how we start getting control of our government. And, where are these regulations coming from? We need to get rid of the regulations that are choking our businesses. I agree with you, Joe. And how do we do that? We need to start going after the agencies. The Department of Education, do we need a Department of Education? I mean, we have school boards and communities that educate our children. Why do we have a federal Department of Education? Why do we have an EPA? We have a DNR that takes care of our clean water. I think we need to start looking at the government as a whole, and quite frankly, we want to start getting rid of regulations. We need to get rid of Obamacare, repeal it and replace it, and we need to get rid of our tax code. How can you have thousands and thousands and thousands of pages of tax code? I don't even think the IRS knows what's in the tax code.
Thank you, Jim.
The only way to do it is we need to start simplifying government. And we need to start looking at the agencies, auditing them, and trying to find ways to shrink our government. And that's what I would like to do, and that's why I'd ask for your vote on June 3rd. Thank you.
Yeah, the number one priority for me, if I'm elected by you guys, is to get this economy going again by creating pro-growth policies. This country is under a wet blanket of economy because of the Obama administration. I've got 2 kids. And their economic future is what motivated me to get here. And so you used to think about that. You say, what's pro-growth policies? It mainly had to do with the tax code. But the explosion of onerous regulations over the last 6 years with Obama, I think has regulations right up there. So what can we do? Let's not pass another law that doesn't include sunset provisions for any regulation that an agency might do. Okay? So they have to come up for review. They don't live forever. Let's pass a law that sunsets them all and lets them come back up for review. Let's have Congress start doing their job and passing, when they need to, very narrowly focused bills so that we don't just take this whole carte blanche of power and give it over to the agencies so that they can do rules which in essence become laws that control our lives. So I think that's something we can do. If we don't get the regulations under control and the tax code under control, we're going to continue to have this no economic growth situation. That means we won't have the jobs we need for folks. It means we won't generate the income for the government that would help us balance this budget and start paying down on the debt and making it so my kids will have some wonderful economic opportunities in their lives just like I've had. And if that's what you'd like to see, I'd appreciate your vote on June 3rd. Thank you.
Well, the folks you send to Washington to represent you, they need to stop standing on the sidelines and just shaking their head and saying, oh, look what the EPA is doing, or oh, look what the IRS is doing. They need to get off their duff and do something. One, they can use the power of oversight. Now, I'll be a strong voice and vote for this 3rd Congressional District, but there are tools that you can use called oversight to investigate these agencies. The President wants to use his phone and his pen. Well, somebody needs to be watching these agencies as well, specifically the EPA and what they're doing with the Renewable Fuel Standard and how they want to define water and the Clean Water Act. Those have very detrimental effects on our economy, on our agricultural way of life, and I know how to keep an eye on them. Thank you.
Yeah, right now, our economy is just stagnant, and it's because businesses are sitting on the sideline. I've spent my career in business, and I've seen how these policies just kill jobs. What's happening is, I've heard that businesses are sitting on $2 trillion of cash. And the reason? Because they can't see a clear future. All they see is Obamacare, and they don't even know how much that's going to cost them, and they don't even know which Obamacare is going to be enforced, as it keeps changing. So, yes, we have to remove regulations and get them out of the way so we can get this economy going again and get jobs for everyone. Everyone look for a job, everyone look for a better job, and those of us with have a good job, but our wages have been stagnant for the last 5 years. The answer to all those problems is getting the economy rolling again. Well, you might have heard me say about the bridge we built 2 years ago in Fremont, Nebraska, where we spent extra $2 million just because the federal government said they didn't want us to touch the sand because it might affect the pallid sturgeon fish. You know, 200 miles of sand of the Platte River, and they're worried about us affecting this 100 foot of disruption to build this bridge. It's costing us billions of dollars that we don't even know about. The billions of dollars that we do know about is bad enough, but there's even money that we don't know. Well, the Congress has the power of the purse. And so the Congress needs to start defunding all these agencies that are going crazy, and the ones that have been mentioned that are going, they're doing crazy regulations and going out, pouring that onto us, the American people. And we need to come up with some good incentives for these bureaucrats to actually start cutting instead of just growing all the time. So that's what I would do in Congress. Thanks.
Well, this is the reason why I ran for state senate. I had this little old hardware store in Urbandale, and I had a 1900 scale that I measured everything, the nails, the grassy, whatever I sold by the pound. And I had the department, Department of Inspections and Appeals that came in. Thank you. There's too many of them. There's way too many of them. But I will tell you, they came in and they said, well, we're going to make sure your scale is accurate. Well, guess what? It wasn't accurate. But it favored the customer. I couldn't get parts for that scale. But they came in, first of all, I had to get a permit, but they came in every 6 months to inspect my scale. And the list goes on. Today I was in Red Oak and Atlantic, and I talked to all the business district around the town squares. And there's a reoccurring theme with all the people that I talk to, their business owners. They can't take it anymore. There's too much red tape to run a business. We've got to make changes. I co-sponsored a bill in the Iowa legislature that says any kind of rules and regulations that we place on business owners, there needs to be a fiscal impact. Because the people that are getting elected, there's too many community organizers out there. There's not enough people that understand business. And this is the thing I did when I was mayor. We had a code book about that thick. And I sat down with our staff and our city council, and I had them review that, and we cut that code book in half. And that's what needs to be done in Washington, D.C. Thank you.
I hasten to add that there doesn't need to be a follow-up question, but...
I got the hint.
Okay, no follow-up. There you go. All right, this will go to you first, Matt. This is from Cheryl. Say it for me, Cheryl. Liz and Ann, I'm sorry. I do know you're on the State Central Committee, so her question is simply this. You all espouse true Republican principles in the primary, but what is it about you that will translate and make Democrats and independents come your way so we can win in the fall?